And it looks like cheesesteaks and grease pole climbing will reign supreme in Philadelphia tonight as the Eagles knock off the Patriots here in Super Bowl 52. Nick Foles is the MVP after making a spectacular trick play to get a game-winning touchdown. What do you think of that play, Matt?
Well, I think that's got to be one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history and football history. I don't really know what was going on down there, but to see Nick Foles catch a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl after Tom Brady just drops one, it doesn't get much better than that for Philly sports fans.
I can't wait to see the memes after that drop pass by Brady. Spencer, what do you think on the Eagles winning this year? Do you think those fans are happy down there in Philadelphia?
More than happy. Oh, my goodness. These fans, they have been wanting this forever. Entire generations of Philly fans have come and gone without them winning a Super Bowl. And for them to win it against such a historically great quarterback, and the narrative around Nick Foles leaving, coming back, and then relieving an MVP candidate after he goes down with injury, you couldn't have asked for a better way to win your first Super Bowl.
If the Patriots were Superman, then the NFC East must be the kryptonite. What do you think about that, Matt?
Yeah, the only teams that have ever beat Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in the Super Bowl are the Eagles and the Giants, both teams from the NFC East. I think it's something about playing in such a competitive division that really prepares you for a big game like that.
So would you say that the NFC East is the best division in football now?
I would say it's one of the best. I know it's for sure the winningest division in the NFL. All 4 teams in the division have won a Super Bowl. And we have the Redskins that have won 3, the Giants that have won about 4 or 5, and the Cowboys that have won 5. And now the Eagles adding on another makes us by far the winningest team in the winningest division in all of the NFL.
Now, that first half, even that first quarter was rough for both teams in scoring. But after that, they really picked it up to have the highest scoring Super Bowl in history. What do you think about the score there?
Well, the first quarter I feel like was a lot of nerves, like a missed extra point from Jake Elliott, the Eagles kicker, and then a missed field goal after a bobbled snap. But I think, after they kind of got more into the flow of the game, things started looking up for both teams. And I think the defenses they had a bad game altogether. There was only one punt the entire game that came from the Eagles in the third quarter. But I think after a little bit of a slow first quarter and some missed opportunities, both teams really settled in well.
So in the pregame, we talked about the defenses being a big factor. Would you say that was correct, Spencer?
Well, if you're talking the entire game, not really. This was really an offensive showcasing. Obviously, it's the most yardage in an NFL game, period. Highest scoring Super Bowl game ever. But when it comes down to the wire, Brandon Graham's strip sack on Brady, if you're talking about defensive impact, that pretty much sealed the game for the Eagles. Without that, they might not have this ring.
So we have the miracle in the Meadowlands. Now we have the miracle in Minnesota after the underdogs knock off the New England Patriots. Do you think that's correct?
Yeah, I would think so. It was quite a miracle, the entire playoff run that we had, getting it down to being up by 5 in the second round of the playoffs against the Falcons, where we were actually the first number 1 seed to be an underdog in the second round, and then going and beating the Vikings, who had the number 1 defense, putting up 38 points in the NFC Championship game, and then going and beating the Patriots in the Super Bowl, where nobody thought we had a chance with a backup quarterback. I would call that a miracle.
I want to see Chris Long's face under that dog mask now. Spencer, do you think that the underdog persona around the Eagles helped them?
Well, I'm not necessarily sure how much outside factors affect games. Of course it had an impact, but I don't think it's exactly the reason why they won. Of course, them being underdogs, hungry dogs run faster. They definitely worked for it harder, but I wouldn't chalk that up to the persona.
And the other thing that people have been talking about is Carson Wentz's Audience of One Foundation and his religious practices in the locker room. And do you think that might have helped them, Matt?
I mean, I don't know. I think really what helped us in the Super Bowl and in the playoffs was Nick Foles' mentality. You know, the whole year, it was just, or the whole team's mentality was just the next man up mentality. When someone goes down, when Jason Peters went down, Big V was there to come in and step up. And when when Carson Wentz went down, Nick Foles was there. He always talked he wrote a book and he talks about being ready for any situation that happens. Like when Carson went down, he was ready, and the Eagles knew that that they could trust him to be the guy that would bring us a Super Bowl, and they didn't need to go out and get someone else that would help us. So I think that it was more of just a whole team mentality and like the way that the coaching prepared the team to be in a situation that you'd never been in before. I think that's what really put us over the edge this year.
Now, Nick Foles is the MVP. Do you think that's the right choice, Matt?
Oh, definitely. I mean, 3 touchdowns, 1 touchdown reception, 400-something yards. And the only other person I could see winning MVP would be Corey Clement. He had 100 yards receiving, a touchdown. But I think far and away it has to be Nick Foles. He had one of the greatest performances in Super Bowl history.
Spencer, do you feel as that way? Is Nick Foles for MVP is the right call?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I don't even think that there's a case for anybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, this was the Nick Foles show. It's like I said in the beginning, I called it. I knew it was going to be an offensive showcasing for both quarterbacks. And what can I say? I'm never wrong.
Now, as fans might know them as the underdogs, I feel as these backups will be known as the next man up mentality season. Do you feel that way, Matt? I know that you brought that up earlier.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think this is also going to help in the future because people like Big V, when Jason Peters is getting old, we'll have him there to kind of be there after Jason Peters is done. And we had players like Ronald Darby step up, Jalen Mills, and I think it's really going to help those players grow as having an experience being put in a situation that's so uncomfortable for a lot of people, but handling it very well. I think it's going to help us in the long run.
Do you have a favorite commercial from tonight? I know that the favorite was NFL 100th anniversary.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. That was definitely the best commercial of the night.
I think that was the best one I saw up there in the media center. How about you, Spencer?
I'm not a commercial guy. I use commercials to go get a snack.
I think a lot of people also feel that way during the Super Bowl and their Super Bowl parties when you start getting hungry because you're nervous because you're not sure. Are these Eagles going to hold on? Because in the past, we've choked. We have straight up choked. Any more thoughts to add on to this, Matt?
No, but, I really like how the last Super Bowl we played in, we lost to the Patriots. It was the start of the whole Brady-Belichick era, and I like that we were able to come in and, a lot of teams, when they play against Brady and Belichick in the Super Bowl, they kind of try to change up what they're doing. But Doug Peterson and the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator did not do that at all. We stuck with what got us there, and it worked.
Spencer, do you have any closing thoughts?
Sorry, I didn't quite hear the question.
Do you have any closing thoughts?
Not really. I've said everything I need to say.
Well, that's it here from Minnesota. Climb those poles, fans. From Minnesota, we are Spencer Hammond, Matt Ryan, and I am Anderson Reed, signing off for SAM Sports.